If I'd kept making these 3 mistakes in pricing my food photography work, I might not still be in business today. What's shakin' bacon? I'm Joni Simon, food photographer. Welcome to my studio. When I was getting started out in food photography, there were 3 big things that I was doing wrong when it came to pricing my work. Because admittedly, there isn't a lot of quality information out there about pricing food photography. I wanted to share with you some of my lessons learned and some of the helpful resources that you can use to help you avoid making some of the same mistakes. So mistake number 1 is charging based on the rates of consumer photographers. Something that I was not aware of when I first started was that pricing wedding photography and family portraits is different from food photography. Because when we're photographing weddings, newborns, senior portraits, those images are going to be used for personal reasons. It's considered consumer photography. Where food photography is most often being done for another business, a brand or a restaurant, and they're going to be using those images for their marketing and for their advertising to ultimately help them make more money. And so we classify that as commercial photography. Now, if you've never spent any time in the world of advertising, it is wild to recognize the power of an effective image to drive sales, particularly in the world of consumer products. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars that can be generated for a business based on one single well-positioned image. So with that in mind, because of the distinction of the earning potential in commercial photography versus consumer photography, we price our work differently. 2, most consumer photography photo shoots follow a fairly similar formula in terms of the amount of time that it's going to take to do the job, what it requires, the equipment, whereas food photography can vary wildly from job to job depending on what the client needs. And so this is one of the first places that I went wrong when I first started charging for food photography, because I was basing it off rates I saw on family and wedding photographer websites who had listed their rates. I quickly realized that I was undercharging and wouldn't be able to build a sustainable business following those pricing models. So that's when I really dug into understanding commercial photography pricing. Now, if you're brand new to pricing and you need a getting started guide, you can check out my free ebook, which recently updated, 4 Steps to Booking Your First Gig, where I give a breakdown of getting started with food photography pricing. You can go check that out, link down below. So then mistake number 2 was charging based only on my shooting time. When I was first getting started, I did a lot of work for restaurants, and I'd go on location, capture the work, and in my mind, it seemed fair that I would charge based on the amount of time I was at the restaurant. So for example, for 2 hours of shooting, I would be charging $100 an hour, so $200 for the job. But let's be real, when it comes to a photo shoot, what percentage of the work is in actual shooting time? I know for me, for a 2-hour restaurant shoot, that probably that involves an hour or 2 of conversations ahead of time with the client, then 30 minutes of packing up, my travel time, setting up, then doing the shoot, cleaning up, traveling home, transferring files to the computer, culling through all the images, editing the images, always takes a while, and then uploading them to my photo delivery site, following up, invoicing, that ultimately a 2-hour photo shoot can turn into a 10 to 12-hour project. And at any other job, if you're being paid hourly, you're getting paid for any work relevant to the job, not just certain tasks. So I came to realize that charging $200 for a 10-hour project was $20 an hour. But that's before taxes, talking arbitrarily, taking off 40% for taxes. That would leave me at $12 an hour, which I can do better than that working at a fast food restaurant. So if you want to make real money by doing food photography, you absolutely must charge for all of your time in a project, not just the shooting time. So then mistake number 3 was assuming that all clients are price conscious. Now, I know it may be hard to imagine, but not all clients are fixated on price. Now, I understand that there is a tendency to project our own fears and our insecurities around money onto our clients, but the truth is there are a lot of clients out there who have healthy budgets that we can work with that are more than fair. For example, running the numbers from my own business for the past year For the work that I did for clients, I had 25 different jobs and the average price tag was $7,000. Definitely much higher than those $400 shoots I used to do. And sure, there are some clients out there who just want to find the cheapest solution and have unreasonably low budgets for what they want. Well, those are the opportunities that we need to avoid because not every business you come across is qualified to become a client. And so maybe you've come across a couple bad apples, you've been burned before, but if you take the mentality of no one's willing to pay me what I'm worth, that you're gonna stay stuck in that lane and you're gonna only continue to find those kinds of clients. Your mindset makes such a huge difference here because if you can make that shift and say, I have standards, I know that there are clients out there who do have healthy budgets and I'm gonna find them, then suddenly your eyes are gonna be open to looking for the signs of where to find those kinds of clients because you can't find something you're not looking for. It's like when you buy a new car and then suddenly you're out there on the road and you're like, oh my gosh, I never realized so many people also have this same car. Well, you didn't notice because you weren't looking before, you weren't aware of it. So if you can start to see clients as people who have money and assume that they're rich and that they can afford to pay you well for your work, those kinds of opportunities will start to come your way. And I promise they're out there. They're not as rare as maybe you think. Now, if you are hot on this topic of pricing and making money, definitely be sure to join us for our free workshop, Leveling Up Your Food Photography Income. We'll be digging into some more exercises to challenge your thinking, plus walking through some real life estimates together. You can go ahead and join us by clicking the link down below. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you have a fantastic day. You stay out of trouble, and I'll see you soon, all right? Bye.